to another episode of the Halftime Coaches Club podcast. Today we've got another exciting episode for you. We've got a really good guest, and without further ado, let's introduce him. So joining me on the panel today, for those who haven't listened in before, my name's Danny Cook. I'm joined by Joe Pike. How are you, Joe?
I'm good, cheers, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Do you mind just explaining your title at the moment to anyone listening in?
Yeah. So recently, I have created my own football coaching business, JP Football Training. I'll plug all the Instagram and everything at the end.
Yep.
But yeah, recently started doing this, obviously from doing coaching for so many years, and yeah, it's a crazy time to be doing it.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, brilliant. So that's kind of a a highlight of what's coming up anyway. And we'll come on to that in due course anyway. For those who obviously are new to the podcast, you are more than welcome to catch up with any other episodes as well on iTunes. They're all available for you to listen straight after this one. So, Joe, let's start from the very beginning. Why and how did you get into coaching?
Cool. I probably wasn't a good enough footballer, mate. No, so I basically got into it. I kind of stumbled into it. Like I said, I was a very late bloomer to playing football. I actually didn't probably kick a ball till I was about 14, 15.
Yeah. Why was that, out of interest?
My dad always said he didn't want to be one of those pushy football dads on a Sunday league touchline when you're 8 years old. So, and it was kind of about, obviously, football's been in my family forever. And then I stumbled across watching a Liverpool game one day and I was hooked for life. And yeah, just kind of stumbled into coaching. My dad works at a school and I helped run their after school kind of football club when I was very, very young. So probably around 15.
Yeah.
And yeah, mate, it's kind of stumbled on from there and it's become a passion of mine and the only thing I'm really interested in, really.
Brilliant. And the after school club that you started off at, so you say you was 15 at the time. How old were the kids? Was there much age difference?
Yeah, cool. They're like primary school age, so anywhere from, I believe it was like year 4 to like year 6, so around that age group, really, mate. And
how was it coaching those guys then?
Obviously, it was my first kind of interaction. I think some of them were better at football than me at the time. But no, it was a real eye-opener to kind of seeing what coaching was about, how to take an individual and potentially get them better, obviously, to get them better at football specifically, but just to see kind of the dynamic change from when you show them something and then they've been able to take that onto the field and then progress that and get better at different, obviously, areas of their game. It was a big eye-opener to me.
Brilliant. So what did that lead on to then, off the back of the after school clubs, and how long did you do that for? Sorry.
I probably did that up until I went off to college, so around late 16s, early 17.
So you did it for a year or two.
It was a good year or so. But yeah, kind of from that, I then went on to my local college where I'd done a sport football based kind of BTEC. I did that for 2 years and we were playing football every Wednesday, understanding coaching as a whole. And obviously it was a kind of, I would say it's a bog standard, you know, your standard sports coaching BTEC level 3 diploma. And yeah, then I carried on playing my Sunday league football. Wasn't really looking so much into coaching at that time because I didn't really think I could do it. I was just kind of pushing it to the back, and I was playing football. I'm a very vocal player, so that kind of helped. That kind of helped, I think, with the whole coaching.
What position did you play at that time? Was you a centre back or?
No, God no.
No.
Being my height, I don't think I would have made it as a centre back at all, mate. But then I actually played, for my local Sunday league team, I actually played in goal, and surprisingly enough, I'm not going to kind of boost my ego, but I was pretty good. For someone who was 5'9", but yeah, played that, and then eventually played more out on pitch and kind of now if I'm playing now, I kind of steer away from the goal and prefer to just, play centre mid, that kind of Busquets role. We'll try to.
The Sunday League Busquets, I love it.
Exactly.
So, you were obviously playing at the time, and you said it wasn't quite at the front of your mind in terms of the coaching side of things. But was you still doing stuff on the side at the time? I know obviously you were saying about college, but was you doing anything else?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. So whilst I was going to kind of my training, my typical Sunday League training, me and probably one other person who kind of went down that coaching route, but not as much as I have now, I said to the manager at the time, and I don't think he likes me, I said, this training is rubbish. Like, why am I, like, we're just playing a game. Like, small sided games are great now, obviously, but actually putting fundamental training and kind of coaching points into that, we were just literally turning up 8 aside, 6 aside, and just playing games for an hour, which is fun. But it kind of, I got to that stage where I was like, we could be doing so much more here, even at a small level. And I think that's where it definitely sparked my kind of wanting to take more training sessions. So I ended up doing a couple's training sessions here and there, giving me a bit of more of kind of a leadership role, which I fundamentally enjoyed. And then it definitely steered me on that path of, well, hang on, no matter what level we're at, we can always learn so much more. It's not just the pro level; it's from grassroots and above.
That's really interesting. Was that a men's team at that time?
Yeah. So we were playing my first year of college, and then we stopped because I had to get a job, so I wasn't able to play Sundays anymore. And that kind of then led, whilst I was at college, to the coaches we had were brilliant. Like they were UEFA B, one was level 2 at the time, and it definitely took me in a position where my personality came out and was like, well, if we're doing something and we're not seeing the benefits, why don't we change this? Why don't we look at more? And then that kind of delved into my knowledge of wanting to understand more about coaching and not just sticking to maybe one philosophy with a group of players, because if it doesn't work, what's the point? But then how do you measure success, I guess?
Yeah, great question. And I think that's a question I think every coach and every team kind of has to define for themselves. I really want to just go back to the point. Obviously, you going in and like taking a few of these sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Were any of your teammates older than yourself?
No. So no, not at all. We were all the same age, and I'm a September baby, so I was one of the oldest, probably the oldest in the team actually. Just carry on.
No. They want to hear you. The listeners want to hear you. They don't want to hear me. Sorry.
No, so I definitely think then it made me so much learn why, from what for example, we'll get onto it, but like my philosophy and kind of the idea of man management and how crucial that is. Because I was trying to do sessions and they were like, well, this is just Joe. He's our goalkeeper. He knows nothing. He's no one. And it kind of challenged me even from an early age then, and then I use it to this day today with adults and young kids, knowing your audience. And I definitely found out that massively there, because sometimes I was laughed off the pitch trying to do a session and then it would just be like, oh, well, it hasn't worked. But yeah, no one was ever older than me. I was the oldest one there, but they were my teammates, and that like you will know, and every coach will know, knowing your audience is so key, and being able to work with different personalities, different ages, like you've just nodded on there. And yeah, I could definitely see how having older players, maybe at a younger age, if you're coaching, it could maybe be very hard for you.
That's, again, some fantastic points there. Really want to go back again to the point you raised about those times when, maybe you'd run a session, it'd be laughed off the pitch. Like, how did you cope, and how did you feel during that period?
I didn't feel great, mate. But I think my personality as it is, it's kind of, okay, that didn't work. How can we change it? I'm not going to get bummed down myself. I'm not going to, okay, if it hasn't worked, why hasn't it worked? If someone laughs at me on the pitch, or that's not good coaching, that's what I know nothing. Even now, I know nothing. And I think it was just at a young age, I was like, I kind of knew, you know nothing, so let's just keep learning. And that's how I kind of dealt with it. I was like, well, I know nothing, so it's fine if you laugh me off the pitch or coaching the pitch, whatever. And it's just kind of like, that was my mentality. But me as a person, I was like, that's fine. I know we're going to develop and get better.
How much of a task was it for you to sort of step into that coaching role when, as you've alluded to, your teammates are the players that you're coaching?
I think definitely it was hard because I was still playing, and the manager was kind of letting me have a session here and there, or just bits and bobs, or like, that was definitely the hardest bit, I would say, because you're trying to be a part of the team as a player, but then also as a manager or as a coach, and balance the two. And I definitely think that's where a lot of coaches sometimes drop out of the game at a young age, because they don't see the kind of the light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of, they don't see why they're doing it, and it's just kind of being like, you're going to have drawbacks, you're going to have all these things, but just keep progressing, really. And that's how I definitely looked at it and how I coped with it.
That's a really good experience, and I feel like anyone who may be listening in, there may be someone going through a similar experience as yourself, as what you've experienced there.
Yeah.
Have you got any sort of tips or any bits of advice for anyone going through that?
Yeah, and I think at whatever age, like I said, I'm in like my early 20s now, and even coaches at a younger age or even older, not everyone's going to like a session. Not every session is going to go great. You have to be adaptable, and just know that even the greats like Sir Alex Ferguson, Mourinho, Klopp, Guardiola, it doesn't go right for them, so it's definitely not going to go right for you, and it's okay. It's going to be fine. It's another day, another learning curve. Oh, I didn't do this right, or maybe it's me, or maybe it's them, but it doesn't matter. You're learning every day, every session, and it's okay to be wrong. It's just having that humility to go on and be like, do you know what? We can get through. I can get through this. It's fine. It's one coaching session. How many you're going to do in your life?
Love it. Great words there. Okay, so moving on from that then, what was your next steps?
Next steps, so at that time, I was at college. At college, obviously, the coaches ran the sessions. I'm not going to say I'm the easiest player to coach at all. But I definitely had a couple of words. But no, and then we went from there, and that's when someone from UCFB Wembley, where I ended up going to uni, kind of, it changed everything. I was like, wow, so I wasn't going to go to university at all. I wasn't going to move on. I was just like, oh, how do I get into the coaching world now? How do I progress this? At that time, I didn't think that you could do that. And I thought maybe this will help. And then bang, I went to university, and that's that. We got there, and kind of my coaching kind of journey as a whole, I think definitely took on more there, because I met so many like-minded people, and I was like, I didn't know you could ever do this. I couldn't. Do you know what I mean? So it was that stage, I would say, was definitely a massive learning curve.
That initial, because obviously you was in the same sort of year group. That initial, I guess, the freshers meet up and all that kind of thing. Like, how was that for you?
In terms as a coach?
Well, in terms of just personally as well, you've gone from, I would imagine, your own environment to a completely different environment, and you're now mixed with loads of like-minded people. How was that for you?
Well, for me as my personality, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was there, and I was surrounded by everyone that wanted to have the same goal as me. But then it also brought me back down to reality, and was like, I have so much to learn. And it was kind of like a hill. Like, you're on top of the hill, you're down, and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not going to do it, or there's so many people like me. How can I even get there? But then it's putting your own motivation on it and saying, well, no, like, I can do it. Like, I've got so much to learn here, and learning for me is massive. Not just academically, but obviously coaching in sessions like that, and that definitely made my eyes open up to like the idea of you need to use these people around you to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Even one thing they might input on your life, it could change the whole course as a person, but also as a coach, which I've used definitely.
Yeah, I think you're bang on there. I think you really are. And I think you've kind of encapsulated the feelings that I'm sure many people and myself definitely had. You know, you get this enthusiasm, you've got all these great people around you, and then at the same time you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get a job? We've got 30 other people in this class.
Well, that's what I mean.
And
it was, obviously I was in the football coaching and sports business.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember we were one of the biggest kind of groups, and I was like, Christ, if there's all of us, and there's probably way more coaches than this out there normally. Obviously, my eyes opened up again. I was like, wow, like look how many people of us there are here, and there aren't as many jobs. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do nothing then. Yeah, mate, it was a massive eye opener, as you probably better contest as well.
Yeah. I don't know, like I don't know if it's the same for you, but I felt like there was a little bit of reluctance at first from everyone. Like,
yeah, oh mate, you 100%. I think we're both thinking the exact same moment. It was kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? Is anyone going to make the first move and everything? It was an odd experience, let me say.
Yeah. Did you? Because I don't know if at the time you eventually left UCFB, if they got any sort of coaching specific guest speakers in, but did you manage to get to many of those at all?
All I'll say on UCFB in terms of that, it was sometimes like a needle in the haystack.
Mm-hmm.
Did I go to any? Yes. Did I think it changed me as a coach? No. That's just me personally. I don't know what everyone else feels, whatever. But I don't find that time in my life was drawn by solely kind of, like you said, that those guest speakers and everything.
Yeah.
Because one, I didn't think we had enough relative to me as an individual and as a coach. And when we did, I was like, it's not kind of impacted me in the way I thought it would, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, mate, that's what I'd say probably about that.
No, that's fair. One thing, obviously, because unfortunately I didn't do the same course as yourself. I did a sort of sports journalism course, so a completely different field. But I'm really interested to find out, you know, how you must have felt when you were delivering one, maybe in one of your practical seminars or practical. What were they called? Were they called practical seminars or something? Where you were out there delivering a session?
Something like that. Something on those lines, like practical kind of seminar, just kind of practical sessions on pitch, but also in the classroom, which I loved. Those parts of it I loved, because we learned from some of the lecturers sometimes, but also amongst your peers and people in your group. That's where I got a lot of, from my time there. I definitely find, if I took anything away from it, I definitely took that side away from it. How many different people there are, like we said at the beginning, but how many different coaching styles there are. Not so much their ideas, but they're kind of, wow, like we all have eyes, but we're all seeing the game a completely different way. And that's bit I loved massively.
And did you ever feel a sense of pressure when it came to actually delivering?
Cool, yeah, mate, absolutely. I'm a very loud, outspoken individual anyway.
Not at all.
But no, bit of a Jack the Lad. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But going into those sessions, obviously, specifically in that first year, in that kind of like first couple of weeks, it was like, even now, I'll speak to probably my best friend, and I met him at UCFB. Sam was in my course as well, and even now, I'll speak to him about a session, and I'll say, "Oh, do you think it's good, or does that sound alright?" Even though I know that, but I just kind of need that reassurance, which is probably a bad thing. But right at the beginning time, I was in that first couple of weeks, like I said, I was nervous as hell, mate. like nervous as hell. Like, what if they laugh at me? What if they don't? And then I was like, at the end of my time, I was like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. What if they laugh or not? It's a learning curve for everything.
Yeah. Was it a case, and again, I'm really interested on this,
Yeah.
because I've not seen it, I've not experienced it firsthand.
Mm.
Was it a case of everyone delivered on, a specific week, and it became like, I don't know if you've been on those courses recently, but a level 1 or a level 2 course where everyone's got to deliver, and by the last one, everyone's shattered and wants to go home?
Yeah. Oh God. When people did their like level 2s and like kind of practical sessions where they were getting graded or X, Y, and Z, you could definitely tell if you were the first person up, everyone was going to give 100%.
Yeah.
You get to 3 sessions in back to back, and they're all, I don't know, 2 versus 1 defending or attack versus defense, and you've been on the attack team the whole time or the defense team, and you're like, another one, and it's kind of repetitive, and it was like, oh wow, like, and then you're going into that session, and you're being extra kind of motivational, and kind of, come on guys, let's go. When they're like, I've done 3-4 sessions back to back, but that was a struggle. But yeah, sometimes it would vary really in terms of what we were doing, what sessions it were, what time of the year it was. It depended on the obviously the academic side of it, but the coaching part, it was sometimes pushed to the back. But when we did do it, it was definitely a lot hands-on.
Good. So, what did you do outside of uni at the time? Was you doing any coaching on the side?
No, to be fair, mate, at my time, and I kind of said it when I was at college as well, like I said before, I was doing my coaching, obviously in uni, and I was on that course, so everything surrounding my time at university was coaching.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I didn't manage a team. I done a bit extra here and there, kind of when we could, or if I wanted to, really. I wouldn't say I was my best role model at uni at the time. But yeah, it wasn't on the full front of my memory as it is, like, well, not memory, so on my full front of my kind of attention and what I want to do all the time. But now it's the complete opposite. It's the only thing I do every day.
Yeah. And just in terms of that uni experience, what if you had to sort of redo one thing, or you could change one thing, is there anything that you would change at all?
As a person, no, and kind of who I met in people like yourself and all that was one of the best times of my life. It's all right, mate. One of the best times of my life. But from the kind of studying side of it and the coaching, I would have preferred it to be a lot better. But like I said, that's my opinion. It's subjective. I would like to maybe change the way it was run, bits and bobs, but that's just what I think, really.
No, that's fine. And was there any sort of standout moment for you from that time? Did you, even if it was a case of just delivering a session that you was being graded on, was there something that really stood out for you as a memory?
Not so much as a coach. Like I said, I was very nervous, so that kind of part of it, I was kind of always at the side. But probably the best time, I don't know, I think it was a session or something. And I'm not the most gifted of players. I'm all right, but I'm not the most gifted. I must have banged in about 5 goals within like 2 minutes, and that was probably the best moment of my university life. And I'll still stand by to this day, probably the best football moment of my life as well.
I love it. You should have got graded for that. You should have got graded on that.
Trust me, for that maybe, but everything else, my shooting probably was the worst of it. So it probably would have leveled out to be a fail anyway.
Oh no. Any advice for anyone who is potentially looking at doing some coaching related degree, not necessarily at UCFB? I know there's a few other universities as well that do some kind of sports coaching degrees. Any bits of advice as a former student?
I definitely say would go. I love my time there as an individual, and I think that's sometimes the main priority of university. Not so much, obviously, the academic side is obviously what you're graded on, what you're done there, but kind of me as a person, how I've come out of it. And I didn't graduate. I left after halfway through the second year. I would definitely say do it, but just make sure it's the right course for you, and try and speak to those students that are doing it right now alone, and really try and gauge their understanding of, so what actually is it about? What have you actually learned? And kind of have your own questions, and don't be afraid to be like, no, well, it looks so good on the outside, but when you dig underneath, it's not what you thought. Definitely try something else, and whatever you do, just throw yourself into every single bit of it.
Great words of wisdom there. Move on to your next passage in your life then, and your coaching journey. So you obviously left UCFB. Talk to us what happens next.
So what happens next really is, I got to a bit of a head kind of crossroads where I was like, I love coaching, but I kind of left uni like not loving it as much as I first went into. I don't know if that was about my time there, but or whatever. And I was doing a bit of volunteer coaching here and there, but I went down the boring route of just leaving uni. And I was like, right, let me get a job, let me get some money so I can fund my coaching badges and more. And I didn't do full-time coaching up until probably about 7 months ago. So from leaving uni, I kind of was doing coaching bit part here and there, but not to the degree where I wanted it to do, if that makes sense. I wasn't doing it full-time like I wanted to, which was a big...
No, I was going to say, was you tied to a club at the time, or was it more of an independent sort of freelancing, just coaching from time to time?
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of a bit here, a bit going to help a friend here, or not doing it for a couple of weeks and doing it here, or playing more. And I was trying to find my kind of feet and what I wanted to achieve, what I wanted to do in terms of coaching wise. And the only bit I had in my head, which looking back probably was a bad thing, was let me get a normal job where I can get paid a salary and save that and coach and put it towards all my coaching qualifications and X, Y, and Z. But I didn't do that so much. It was, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't the greatest time of my life, but it was definitely a time where I look back on now and I think kind of helped me now to where I am now in terms of my coaching career. But no, it was an interesting time, shall we say.
No, I mean, I could relate to you going out, you just need money to fund yourself to then go into to do some of these courses, or just go and coach, do your passion essentially. So I could 100% relate to that, and I've been through that. I'm really interested. Did you do your level 1 and level 2 at that point?
So I did my level 1 before uni. Went to uni, did my level 2 there, but I didn't, because I left halfway through, I never went to the assessment day.
Okay.
So I was like, can I come back and do it? Like, can I do it? And they were like, yes, no, yeah. It was kind of a bit back and forward, and I never ended up doing it. Went through the whole time where I was like, well, I'm not doing coaching full time. I'm just want to coach and learn more, regardless of the qualifications, because I saw something the other day, and it was, qualifications get you the job, but your experience makes the job of what it is.
Yeah.
And it definitely, from my time, from having a normal job, it helped me massively with my coaching. But no, I didn't have, and I was about to do my level 2 when literally just before this COVID-19 happened, and that's been put on hold.
Would you believe it? Eh?
Oh,
Unbelievable. How did you find the balance between having to do work and going to coach? How did you find balance?
Different stages, obviously, throughout the years, like from leaving university to now. Obviously, there's been about 4 years between it. Like one cut, maybe I'd probably say half and half. I was sometimes not doing any coaching at all, but still thinking about coaching, not physically doing it, but I would still talk to friends and fellow coaches, talking about session plans, this, that, watching how the pros play, developing that, why they're doing this, why they're doing that. Practically doing it, I'd say half and half of the time I was doing it and half I wasn't. But yeah, definitely when I was doing it, it was a struggle, because it was trying to keep that focus of this is what you want to do, but then also with the constraints of my job that I went into, I actually ended up being in IT security sales.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I went to America and stuff, and I travelled a bit in the UK for it, and that was the only thing on my head at the time, and obviously up until recently when I left, and that definitely took a massive stint on my shoulders because I got crept up in the idea of I need to do this when really I was like I'm just doing it to fund it when I don't really want to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, no,
crazy.
it certainly does. Um, Actually, when you went to sort of America and all that,
Yeah,
did it ever cross your mind that you'd want to coach abroad?
definitely. Oh, 100%. Definitely in terms. So where I want to see myself going is trying to go the highest I can in the professional game. Me as an
Hmm.
individual coach, I want to get to the highest level I can, and definitely obviously traveling over there for a bit and looking at the America. Definitely that's because my mind even now like I want to go over there at some point in my coaching career and really experience different ways of coaching and different kind of ethoses and kind of philosophies of why they coach here in the different kind of pardon me different type of people, which is I definitely think, and I can't obviously I've never been coaching abroad myself, but if you want to do it, just do it, 100%.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you?
interesting because no, sadly I haven't. Yeah, I've always been interested,
Mm,
but no, I never really found myself in the right place. And at the moment, it's not not in the short term future, but maybe
yeah,
longer term. But we'll see. No, I definitely see the appeal. That's
mm,
why I thought I'd ask anyway.
yeah, definitely.
So, your how did you go from that to you setting up JP training?
Kind of got to a stage with my job, and I was like, I was severely unhappy. I was like, I'm just doing this to fill a void, and the void was just monetary. And I was like, I'm putting up an act. I'm not doing what I want to do because I love coaching. I just wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then one day came along. I was like, I'm leaving. I ended up saving a bit of money throughout my time there. And then one day I was like, that's it, I'm leaving. And I've thrown myself into this right now. And then bang, COVID-19 comes crashing into my parade. Um, but no, yeah, it was I've got that very much mentality as well. If you want to do it, just do it. Don't mess around. Go full into it. If you're doing something you love, you'll always be happy. So that was definitely a part of mine where I was like, wow, I just need to do it.
So what if you for anyone who's listening, maybe not heard of the JP football training initiative that you've sort of set up.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just explain it to someone listening in
Yeah,
what
definitely.
that is?
Yeah, so basically we specialize in one-to-one position-specific training. With our training, you might see a lot of one-to-one kind of football companies on Instagram and on the internet and stuff. And it's very different in terms of them because what we, me as a business, we're trying to create is every single session is realistic to you as an individual, very tailored, very position specific, not just let's say, for example, you're trying to build up on your first touch or you're passing from a first touch. Let's actually make game situations in our one-to-one to where your body's moving, the stride of your run, where are you running, why are you doing this? It's kind of a full overview of you as an individual, not just your bog standard one-to-one or group side, small sessions. So we're trying to create what you replicate with your either pro, semi-pro academy, or even your grassroots team. We're trying to just give you a little bit of extra what you need to work on for your kind of in your game situations, really.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. So where did the idea come from?
Kind of, I've always had that kind of I want to like that entrepreneurial spirit, which is very cliche, very cheesy. It's definitely always a passion of mine to do that. I was even at my normal job, I was like, I know why you're telling me to do this, but I don't like the fact that you're telling me what to do. But I was like, I have a passion, I have drive, I have determination. Those are the smallest things I need. But the biggest thing I need is to actually go out there and do it and I was like, I know what I'm doing. I know how I can add value and input on a player's footballing career, and not just that, but their life as an individual. I know I have something to offer, so I need to just do that, and that's been my driving force behind it.
Really intrigued, I guess, with the sort of idea of going down a one-to-one specialism route. Why one-to-one or
Just
small-sided? Sorry.
Just like I said, it's something that I definitely enjoy, because I just find, obviously, like you all know, and all the coaches listening and players that are listening probably, when you coach kind of, I don't know, let's say a mass of 25 kids or players or whoever, whatever age group, you can sometimes get lost, and you want to add so much value because your enthusiasm and what you know you can achieve with these group of players, but physically can't get around to giving every single one 100% and really adding as much value as you want to think you are, in my personal opinion. And that kind of got me down the route of, well, I want to add value, and I know that I can do that in a big group, but I'm going to be adding so much more value and actually inputting on that player's life one-to-one and kind of being more personable to someone.
Now, I know you already mentioned the unfortunate COVID-19 situation.
Yeah.
Keeping yourself and obviously your company busy during this time.
Sorry, say that again, mate. You cut out a little bit there.
Yeah, sorry, it might be the connection from my end. Apologies.
That's all right.
You know, obviously to keep yourself busy, but in terms of the coaching setup, what are you guys doing?
So I'm just submersing myself every single day. It kind of gives me a time. People are saying, "Oh, you can't do anything. Oh, you must be so annoyed that you've just set this business, this idea up with yourself, and you can't do it." And I'm like, yes, but also, so what I'm trying to do is work on my own football craft, trying to get better, and just get out on the pitch every single day. Luckily, where I live, I have a massive full-size pitch basically in front of my house.
Lovely.
Yeah, mate. It's a coach's dream. Honestly, you should see outside my bedroom window. It's you'd be very jealous, I think.
I'm sure I am.
But just going out there every single day, but also just looking at different areas of how I can kind of change from a business standpoint, but also as a coach in terms of different positions. So I necessarily might not know as much on one position as another. So I'm just basically learning and trying to develop that, and kind of, let's say, for example, what makes a great left back? What makes a great inverted left back in the attacking third? What makes a great left back that overlaps in the final third? All these fundamental little details, but make up a great overall player that I can then take into one-to-one sessions.
Yeah. So what are you looking at joining some of the webinars, or are you doing lots of reading at the moment?
Yeah, a lot of webinars, a lot of videos. I'm a very visual individual. I'm not gonna lie, I don't read many books. I'm more definitely like I said, watch videos. I went on I was going to go on a module the other day, but it got cancelled, with Mark Warburton, the QPR boss.
Oh wow!
In kind of how he changed his career from where he was, to manager. So yeah, just trying to keep up with the industry and kind of, because it's changing every single day, and just looking specifically how I can develop each position as a whole, really.
I think, you know what, I will say, I think the fact that everyone seems to be in the same boat when it comes to coaching at the moment, I think has really helped everyone out, because I don't know about you, I've seen loads of webinars, loads of online sort of chats with managers. I was listening to one the other day with Steve McLaren, which was interesting. And yeah, I think there's loads of resources out there for anyone that's interested. It's just a case of actually just going out and finding it, isn't it?
All forms of social media, YouTube, Instagram, webinars, like you said, LinkedIn, Google, any bit out there. It's always been there. It's just now people are like, well, I've got nothing else to do. Let me see what's out there. And then they're like, wow, look how much information there is out there. The Coach's Voice, I don't know if you're signed up to them at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Massive resource. I can't suggest that to any other coach more. That's massive and huge, and the amount of information I've gained is massive. So I'll definitely say to anyone, check that out. But yeah, like you said, mate, there's so many things available. Just take it while you can, I would say.
Yeah, make the most of what's out there, really.
While
Yeah,
they're
bang
free
on.
as well.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, there's one, anyone that's interested, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's like a soccer summit. And I mean, I wouldn't, without the coronavirus, I wouldn't be able to attend that. I
Oh, of
wouldn't be
course
able to listen to some of that. Because obviously they've all gone virtual, and I'm listening in and I'm thinking, wow, this is incredible. They've got 50 speakers on. I'm listening to every single one, or trying to. So yeah, it's interesting.
Definitely.
In terms of the social media side, what for you has been the best platform to use for when it comes to finding stuff, and then obviously your business as well?
So in terms of finding stuff, I'm definitely, for me personally, a simple one. YouTube, I find it's massively helped me. Just looking back at games, in terms of how it's like I said, different areas of the game that I want to produce for individual players. But in terms of for my kind of business, I'd say we've just literally gone live very, very recently. So obviously with this COVID-19, trying to get the content out there that I want to produce isn't always available for me to do, and I'm trying to definitely figure out which is the best way to avenue this, because I'm not just very, very many one-to-one companies you'll see on Instagram. You'll see ball mastery skills or little skills that you can do. I'm like, it's useless. You're doing something, and I'm like, okay, you're doing it for views, or you're doing it just to put content out for content's sake.
Yeah.
I'm trying to really go down the route of what can I do specifically as a coach to another coach and actually develop that, hopefully, or add value if I can, because I don't see anything out there at the moment that is doing that as much. I'd say the coach's voice maybe, but not anyone else. And that's where I'm definitely trying to take my route with everything going, kind of being an education resource, not just a one-to-one company that puts out content for content's sake.
Yeah, no, I've seen plenty of those on Instagram as well. I think
how many juggles can you do in 30 seconds? Okay, how is that useful in a game situation? You tell me when you're gonna have to do 30 juggles in a game situation. Don't get me wrong, amazing, but for me as an individual, I don't see the appeal as a coach to be getting your players to do that if it wasn't just for a pure fun exercise or encouraging to use both feet. But
really, really different question now. We're going to go down a slightly different route. What do you think makes a great coach?
Oh, you've been waiting to ask that. I can sense that. You've been waiting to put me on the spot. What makes a great coach? I would just say having the ability to be a man manager, man coach, or being able to understand your players, being able to know that you can't do the same thing, you can't react to the same thing to every single player, because everyone is different, and you need to understand that you need to change yourself sometimes and how you're delivering maybe some negativity or even some positivity to each player, and that's from under fours all the way to the professional level. And I think the difference between the good coach and the bad coaches is that fundamentally, like you'll look at the pro level, Jurgen Klopp, like people might say he's not the most tactical manager as say Guardiola, but Christ, I think any of his players would run through a brick wall if he asked them to.
Yeah, man management is definitely his strength, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. What about yourself? What would you say?
Ooh, that is a good one. That is a good one. You're throwing it back to me. Yeah, I do think I mean, it's going to sound awful, but yeah, I mean, for me, it is dealing with people and managing people. So yeah, man management. But I feel like connecting with people on a personal
Definitely.
level, and just obviously getting them emotionally attached to the team's output and being part of the team. I think that for me is probably one of the great strengths of a good coach. Yeah, it's hard. It's a difficult question. That's why I thought I'd be interested to find out what you think. But yeah, I mean, I know some people would probably say it's a case of getting the best out of players, or achieving amazing results. But I feel like for me, it's more personable. You've got to reach out and connect to your players on a personable level, really.
Definitely, couldn't agree more, mate.
So, as we touched on Klopp there, he's obviously a very philosophical guy. I want to find out a bit more about your philosophy and your approach when it comes to coaching. Now, I understand obviously the situation in terms of your setup is probably more of a one-to-one basis. So if you want to go down, if you want to give one answer for a one-to-one and then maybe one answer for a team specific, if they're different, then feel free to.
Yeah, I coach an under-14s team as well locally, here in Basingstoke, and for a team, I would definitely say my philosophy around that is, can we all be positive on the ball at all times? And do you know what? It's okay to make a mistake. It's actually okay, because we are going to make mistakes, because we're trying to play football the way that we want to play, whether that's kind of tiki-taka, fast-playing football, or even to route one. I was saying, and I said this to another really good coach, Sammy Lander, shout out to you, mate. It's not, I don't feel like you can have a fundamental philosophy on how you want to play football, how you want to coach players, until you've managed or coached over 100 to 200 sessions. Just purely because I think there's so many things out there that you don't know, and I think you don't know what you don't know, and what you know, and obviously it sounds very simple to say, but that's why for me it's more about the individual. How do we want to play? Let's get everyone's kind of ideas together, like you said, kind of getting that kind of, what do the team want to achieve? We want to get to here. Okay, so how are we going to get there? Very much a player ownership led philosophy, specifically with the team I manage. But with a one-to-one, I'd definitely say what we just kind of touched upon, kind of, especially what you said. I'm not just, I don't know, coach or Joe, the coach, or Joe. That's just Joe. He just happens to coach me. That's it. I want you to like me as me, and as a friend, and as a I don't know, maybe a role model or anything like that. But you just like to come to a session with me, and you'll do anything you can then. Because if I've got someone that comes to me in a one-to-one basis, or any coach other that has a one-to-one, a player that comes to you, okay, you might be the greatest coach in the world, but if you can't talk to that individual, whatever age, wherever they're from, you failed there. If you try and do this the same way with every single person, one, you're never going to grow as a business and as a one-to-one business, but you're never going to grow as a coach, because you're never going to know what works and what doesn't work. So I'd definitely say, like what you said there, kind of having that one-to-one, but having that humility to be able to be like, I want to get to know you as an individual. I don't really care about what we sometimes coach about, but I want you to like me, and I want to have a great rapport with yourself.
No, I love that. Two great responses there. Really do appreciate that. I think, and I want to delve a little bit deeper with this.
Yeah.
Your under 14s team.
Yes.
How do you deal with parents?
So I actually try not to deal with parents. Strangely enough, a friend of mine from where I work out, he has the team. And then he obviously found out what I was coaching, and I came along and dealt with it. So he kind of deals with parents. But from him in the past, where I've dealt with parents. So I've never been or coached a session where parents have actually stayed. I went to my first training session with this team, and all the parents were just watching, and I'm like, oh God, do you not go home and come back? Do you not kind of wait? And they were there, beady eyes, watching every single move I made. And I went back to when I was young, in coaching, when everyone was laughing at me, and I was like, well, this is what I'm doing. And then I will always try and speak to the parents and have a clear cohesion of what the team's doing. And I said to them, I'm not necessarily bothered about the result, because they're 14, 13. So I said, I don't really care about the result. I care about how I've met them on the first day, and at the end of the season, how they changed and got better, and how they developed individually and as a team, and how they developed their people skills. And that's definitely what I say to the parents. So, like you said, communication is massive. Not just, oh, hi guys, I'm the manager or the coach, but I'm here to make sure you know that we're all singing off the same sheet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it certainly does.
I know some coaches have, and I know I've had my fair share, you probably have, and people listening probably have. It's very hard to deal with some parents, but like anything, relationships, anything else, you've got to just have that communication nice and high, and let them know what's going on at what time, and then hopefully you won't have as much confrontation or problems maybe as you would if you didn't have great communication.
Yeah, bang on. Communication is key for working with parents. But yeah, again, fantastic response. I think you nailed that one. And for anyone listening who maybe is a little bit unsure of how to deal with parents, as we say, communication is very, very key. And probably similar to what I kind of answered when you fired the question back to me earlier. I feel like you've got to have a bit of a connection or a bit of a rapport with the parents as well.
Yeah.
So if you can build that up, then it's only going to help you, in my opinion.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Cool. So coming up to the last couple of questions now. Thank you very much for your time. I want to find out your strengths as a coach. Where do you feel you really add a lot of assets and a lot of benefits to a player?
I would definitely say my strongest attribute and strongest kind of mentality and kind of what I bring and add value to is kind of, it might sound weird, but just being me, being able to say to the players, I don't care about the results, let's just get better. Let's just play football. Let me see you enjoy playing football again. I don't care if you make 10 mistakes in the game, because you've tried maybe the same thing 10 times, and I can actively see you trying to take what we draw from the training session into the game. If you keep doing that, you're gonna get better at it. You're gonna end up getting better and then develop even more. So for me, definitely my man management style and kind of motivation as an individual, and my man management as team, like you'll know and everyone knows. I have some players where if they're playing and mucking around, or they're not really interested, or even at the high level, they play adults, they're not mucking around, they don't want to be here. It's having that kind of one-to-one, being able to go, well, do I need to shout at this person? Do I need to get angry? Do I not? How do I approach that? I definitely think that's my strongest asset to any team. I can definitely build upon their character and really bring out their true ability and true potential.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that, because I could definitely tell, obviously from this call, but from our past experiences, your personality, I think does shine through.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, mate, I don't know. You'll have to ask.
That's the thing. Sadly, I've not seen you on the pitch training.
I don't think you want to, mate.
No, don't be silly. So, last couple. What do you enjoy most about coaching? What do you find rewarding?
Good question. What do I find rewarding? I really just enjoy the fact that the knowledge, the ideas, the tactics, the philosophy that I have, I can relay that to an individual, and then they perform that well, or sometimes not well, but I know we get the result, or I see someone change from an average player, to a great player, just from, I would say, my input. And I think that's fundamental. I think if you're doing coaching, you don't get that same kind of buzz. I think you're never going to be happy during coaching.
Yep, love it. Yeah, that's certainly something I think I agree with and experienced, thankfully, firsthand. Yeah, I think there's nothing more rewarding when you see someone, as you say, progress, whether that be small step or just huge. There's just something about that that's really rewarding to me as a coach, anyway. Okay, last question. For anyone who's listening in who may be a new coach or is looking to potentially get involved in coaching, have you got any advice for them as to how to get into the game?
Just be yourself, and if you truly want to be a coach, that will shine through if you're just being yourself. Don't and try as many different things as you possibly can. Try new things, try different philosophies, try different tactics, just learn, evolve every single time. Just don't give up on what you want to do, and just be authentic to yourself. And if that's you, then just that will shine through more than anything, I think, in my personal opinion.
Perfect. And actually, I've got one more. Sorry.
That's right.
And obviously it's related to you specifically. Yeah. So I want to find out, and I think this is a good place to close, what your ambitions are for obviously your business. But going forward, I know you've alluded to it a little bit earlier on, but what your ambitions are as a coach as well.
So from a business standpoint with the one-to-one, it's to grow and be one of the kind of add the most value as I can to every single player, whether that be grassroots, academy, semi-pro and professional players, but also be the number one one of the resources that a coach would go to develop and learn as a coach, as we all are every single day. No one's ever stopped learning. So that would be my goal and what we want to achieve. And what I want to achieve personally is I want to get to the highest level I can in the professional game, and be a first team manager for a professional team, whether that be here in the UK, Europe, abroad, anywhere in the world. That's my goal, and that's where I want to get to and will get to one day. And yeah, that's definitely where I will be one day, and I can hopefully.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. And when you are, you can give me a ring. I'm available. Assistant coach.
That's fine, mate. Assistant coach. You'll be the first one I call.
Go on, take us out to Ukraine or somewhere like that. You're going to get into the Ukrainian first division or something like that.
Hey, I'll snatch your hand off. Absolutely.
Listen, Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure. Really, really have enjoyed that. It's been so insightful. As someone who I obviously got to know well at uni, and we had some good times together. I never really saw this side in terms of what you did actually in terms of coaching. So this is really insightful for me. I've loved every moment. So thank you for sharing that with us.
That's all right. Thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute blast and a great podcast to listen to, hopefully.
Oh, thank you. So just to end up then, how can anyone listening in follow you or your business on social media?
So on Instagram, it's JP_football training, and on Facebook, it's just JP football training. There will be so much more content to come. I'm in the process of creating a YouTube channel surrounding myself and kind of my coaching journey, which what I'm going to hopefully be able to push out soon. But no, yeah, anyone, please come out and reach out to me. Any questions, anything like that, or just want to have a following, keep up to date with what I'm doing, by all means. And yeah, any questions or anything like that, I'm more than happy to answer.
Amazing. Yeah, please do that. I think he was even talking about launching a podcast as well, which would be amazing to listen to.
Definitely. So, and yeah, for coaches and coaches like myself to get into the highest level you can.
I love it. Love it. So yeah, thank you very much, Joe. Brilliant. And for anyone listening in, if you want to follow, obviously our site on Twitter, it's halftime_cuppa. And then obviously if you want to follow myself on Twitter, it's at DannyCook1996. As I mentioned at the very, very beginning, all our episodes are actually now on iTunes, which is a remarkable achievement, bearing in mind the hours we had to do behind the scenes. So we got it on iTunes, still working on Spotify. So we may have to wait a little bit longer for Spotify, but iTunes is up there and you are welcome to listen to them on there now. So yeah, once again, Joe, thank you very much for your time. Listeners, thank you very much for listening. And until next time, stay safe even, and have a great rest of the day.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.